of the king. Meet the people in the story. King, his three sons. In the third son's story, King Himsuka, the king's pet parrot, Himsuka's parent, old man and women, courtiers and relatives. There was once a king who had three sons. His sons were well educated, intelligent, and clever. One day the king called his sons to him in order to test them. He wanted to find out what they thought about punishing people who had done wrong. Suppose he said, I entrust my honor on my life to a man, but he proves faithless. What punishment should be given to him? The eldest son said, such a man should be beheaded at once. The second son said, I quite agree. Such a man should be put to death. No mercy should be shown to him. The third son silent. Well, my boy, the king said to him, tell me what you think. Sir, said the prince, it is true that death is the punishment for such a crime, but before the man is put to death, it should be proved very clearly that he is really guilty. Do you think, replied the king, that a man who was not guilty would be put to death? Oh yes, replied the prince, it could happen. I shall tell you a story. As an example, the young prince then told the story. The king of Vidarbha once had a wonderful parrot. The parrot was named Himsuka and he lived in a palace as a pet. Himsuka was very clever. He could talk in many languages. He was so wise that king often asked him for advice on important matters. Himsuka did not live in a cage and could move about as he liked. One morning he flew out of the palace, went into the jungle. There he happened to meet his father. Won't you come and spend a few days with us at home? Asked Himsuka. Father shall be glad to come home, said Himsuka, but first I must inform the king. Himsuka flew back to the palace and asked the king if he could visit his parents. The king was so fond of Himsuka that he could not bear to be parted from him, but he agreed to the request as he knew Himsuka wanted to be with his parents. You may go for a few days, said the king, but come back soon. Come back as soon as possible. Oh yes, said Himsuka, I shall be back in 15 days. Himsuka then flew with his parents to their home. His mother was happy to see her beloved son. Himsuka stayed with his parents for a fortnight and then said to them, my beloved parents, I have had a happy time with you, but now I have to go. The king is expecting me. His parents were sorry that Himsuka had to leave so soon, but they had to let him go as he had promised to return within 15 days. We would be like to give you something to take to the king, a present, said Himsuka father, but we do not know what to give you. The father and mother tried hard to think of a suitable present. At last his father said, I know the best gift for the king. There is a tree on a mountain far away that bears the magic fruit of immortality. Everyone who eats the fruit will not die and will remain always forever young. I shall go and get one for the king. The father flew off and came back with the golden fruit of immortality. He gave it to Himsuka for the king. It was evening when Himsuka set out for the king palace with the fruit in his beak. But soon the sun set and there was darkness all around. Himsuka decided to spend the night on a tree, but first he had to find a safe place for his precious gift. Luckily, he found a hole in a tree trunk. He put the fruit in the hole, sat on a branch near it, and soon fell asleep. That hole, however, was the home of a poisonous snake. When the snake came back, he saw the shining fruit and wanted to see if it was something he could eat, so he took just a little bite. He did not like the taste, so he left it alone, but the fruit became poisonous when the snake bit it. The next morning, Himsuka picked up the fruit and went on. He reached the king's palace and presented the fruit of immortality to him. The king was so pleased with the magic fruit that he decided to hold a darbar before he ate it. His minister and members of the royal family were there. The king took up the fruit and was about to eat it. "Wait, your majesty," said the chief minister. "Before you eat this fruit, it would be wise to try it on some animal. If it is unharmed, then you may eat it." "That's an excellent idea," said the king. He caught a piece of fruit and threw it to a crow. The crow ate it and at once died. "Your majesty," said the chief minister, "you had a narrow escape. The fruit is poisonous. It is not the fruit of immortality. Now we know that Himsuka wanted to poison you with this fruit." The king was very angry. He pulled out his crowd and killed Himsuka on the spot. He then ordered them that the poisonous fruit should be taken outside the city and buried in a deep hole. The fruit was buried. Soon its seed began to grow. It grew into a tree that bore lovely golden fruit. "Those fruits are poisonous," said the king. When he heard about the tree, they were the fruit of death. The king then ordered his men to put a fence around the tree. He also told them to guard the tree so that no one could eat the poisonous fruit. News of the fruit of death spread all over the city. The people were afraid to even go near the tree. Now there lived an old man and his wife in the city. They were very poor and lived all alone. They lived on charity but were now too old to go out to beg. They often went without food and felt that life had become a burden, so they decided to kill themselves. The best way to die, they thought, would be to eat the fruit of death. One night the old man went to the tree and crept through the fence. Without the guard seeing him, he picked two fruits of the tree and took them home. The two ate a fruit each and went to sleep, hoping that they would never wake up. Imagine their surprise when they woke up the next morning. They were alive and they had become young. They were strong and healthy. The king heard of this miracle and went to see them. He was astonished to find that the old man and his wife had become young. He realized that the fruit Himsuka had brought to him really was the fruit of immortality. Now he greatly repented his hasty act of killing his favorite pet. "That is why," continued the prince, "I say that an accused person should be punished only after a through inquiry to find out if he really is guilty. The king was so pleased with the third son answer that he chose him to be the next king. Thank you for watching.